Hello everyone. Welcome back to ProMind classes. Hope that you all are doing well. As we are continuing with our NCRT series, we are doing Class 10th Geography NCRT. And today we are going to discuss chapter number 2, Forest and Wildlife Resources. Topics which we are going to discuss in the chapter are the following: Introduction, Flora and fauna in India, classification of species, causes of depletion of the flora and fauna, conservation of forest and wildlife in India, types and distributions of forest and wildlife resource, community and conservation. Our Earth is home for billions of living beings, starting from microorganisms and bacteria, lichens to banyan trees, elephants and blue whales. Flora and fauna in India. India is one of the world's richest countries in terms of its vast array of biological diversity and has nearly 8% of total number of species in the world, that is estimated to be 1.6 million. At least 10% of India's recorded wild flora and 20% of its mammals are on threatened list. Many are categorized as critical, that is on the verge of extinction, like the cheetah, pink-headed duck, etc. Classification of species. Normal species, endangered species, vulnerable species, rare species, endemic species, and extinct species. Now we will discuss each of them in a little bit detail. Normal species. Species whose population levels are considered to be normal for their survival, such as cattle, sow, pine, rodent, etc. Endangered species. There are species which are in danger of extinction. For example, black buck, crocodile, Indian wild ass, etc. Vulnerable species. Vulnerable species are the species whose population has declined to the levels from where it is like to move into endangered category to near future if the negative factor continue to operate. For example, blue ship, Asiatic elephant, Gangetic dolphin, etc. Raw species. Raw species are with small population may move into endangered or vulnerable category if the negative factors affecting them continue to operate. And what are some examples? Himalayan brown bear, wild Asiatic buffalo, desert fox, and hornbill, etc. Endemic species. Endemic species, these are species which are only found in some particular areas, usually isolated by natural or geographical barriers. For example, Andaman teal, Nicobar pigeon, Andaman wild pig, mitten in Arunachal Pradesh. Extinct species. Extinct species. These are species which are not found after search of known or likely areas where they may occur. For example, Asiatic cheetah, pink-headed ducks, etc. Now, we are going to discuss the causes of depletion of the flora and fauna. Human beings transform nature into a resource obtaining directly and indirectly for the forest and wildlife, such as wood, barks, leaves, rubber, medicine, dyes, food, fuel, fodder, manure, etc., which be depleted our forest and wildlife. Now, here we are going to discuss some of the causes of depletion of flora and fauna. So, the various factors that cause depletions of flora and fauna are large scale development project, shifting cultivation, mining, grazing and fuel wood collection, overpopulation. And what are the factors which are responsible for the decline in India's biodiversity? They are habitating destruction, hunting, poaching, overexploitation, environmental pollution, poisoning, and forest fires. Now we will discuss about the conservation of forest and wildlife in India. Conservation preserves the ecological diversity and our life support system, water, air, and soil. Due to conservationist demand, the Indian Wildlife Protection Act was implemented in 1972 with various provisions for protecting habitats. The aim of program was protecting the remaining population of certain endangered species by banning hunting, giving legal protection to their habitats, restricting trades in wildlife. The central and mini state government established national parks and wildlife sanctuaries. The central government also announced several projects for protecting specific animals which were gravely threatened, including the tiger and the one horned rhinoceros and others. Project Tiger was also launched by the Government of India in the year 1973 to save the endangered species of tiger in the country. Under Wildlife Act of 1980 and 1986, several hundred butterflies, moths, bees, and one dragonfly have been added to the list of protected species. In 1991, for the first time, plants were also added to the list, starting with 6 species. Now, we are going to discuss about the types and distributions of forest and wildlife resource. In India, much of its forest and wildlife resources are either owned or managed by the government through the forest department or other government departments. The forests are classified under the following categories. First is reserve forest. These forests are regarded as the most valuable as for the conservation of forest and wildlife resource are concerned. It covers half of total forest land. The other one is protected forest. These forest land are protected from any further depletion, almost one third of total forest area in the protected forest. The other one is unclassed forest. These are other forests and wastelands belonging to both government and private individuals and communities. So now we are going to discuss about the community and conservation. The forests are also home to some of the traditional communities. Local communities are struggling to conserve their habitats along with government officials to secure their long-term livelihood. In Sariska Tiger Reserve, Rajasthan, villagers have fought against mining by citing the Wildlife Protection Act. The famous Chipko movement in the Himalayas have successfully registered deforestation in several areas. Also, shown that community afforestation with indigenous species can be enormously successful. Farmers and citizens group like Beach Bachao Andolan in Tehrai and Navodaya has shown the advocate level of diversified crop protection without the use of synthetic chemicals are possibly and economically viable. Joint Forest Management JFM program introduced in 1988 in the state of Odisha shown good example for involving local communities in management and restoration of degraded forest. So, here we have completed the chapter. Hope that all your concepts regarding this chapter is cleared. Hope that you like this video. Do share this video. And thanks a lot for subscribing our channel. And if you are new here, then please do subscribe our channel and press the bell icon so every time we upload a new video, you get notified. Thanks a lot for your precious time over here. Have a nice day. Stay tuned with ProMind.